Hello and welcome back to GuildTV election coverage. I'm Louise Smallbone and I will be interviewing all the winners of the Guild of Students 2021 to 2022 elections. And I am joined by Josephine Conway, the new Activities and Employment Officer. So huge congratulations to you, Jo. Well done, and I hope you celebrated on Friday night.
Yeah, we celebrated. My housemates and I had a lot of fun. It was such a surprise, and it was just so overwhelming, and it's been such a stressful kind of week. It was, up so early, going to bed really late at night. So it was just such a nice kind of event, and I was just absolutely over the moon. I still can't believe it even now.
Oh, I'm sure. And sort of thinking on with that, I mean, obviously last week's campaigning was completely different to what we've ever done before. It was all online. How was that for you? And were there kind of any challenges that you had to face?
Mhm. Yeah, so I loved campaign week, and kind of engaging with so many different and new people was just so great. One of the things I did love was filming my campaign video. I knew that because it was online, it was your kind of social media presence and your visuals and your Facebook and Instagram and your campaign video. Those were the things that people needed to see. So I spent so many hours, going through making sure that my kind of social media posts were engaging and entertaining. And so I think that was definitely a massive challenge, because obviously it's just something that I've never done before. I think as well, what was challenging about being online is that it was just how to reach the students that are not necessarily in your year group or aren't around in at Birmingham at the minute. So I found that quite difficult. I mean, understandably, I couldn't post on every single society page, and you had to ask for permission. But that in so it was kind of reach having to think outside of the box and kind of think, how can I engage, first year students and commuter students? That is something that wouldn't potentially not necessarily happen if it was in all on campus. And I think as well, it was almost just, with being online, you just don't know how your campaign's going. So I had no clue whether, people were seeing it, whether people were voting. I was just so unsure. So when it came down to results night, I was just so nervous because I just had no clue what people were thinking, if they'd even voted. So definitely it was very challenging, but it was the most amazing experience, and I'm so glad that I applied.
Oh, incredible. I mean, I'm sure it must have been just, I can't imagine being completely online and not having that kind of face-to-face interaction. I think we've all missed that in all areas of life.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think in your manifesto, talking about face-to-face was securing a safe transition for student groups to be able to begin those society activities again, because some people haven't had any face-to-face interaction whatsoever this year. So in what ways are you going to put sort of measures or things in place to make sure that transition is smooth?
So obviously the safety of students is paramount, and that's what my manifesto was based around: student safety. I think it's so important to ensure that there's up-to-date training that follows the government guidelines, so all groups know kind of what they can and what they can't do when they're running events and things. I think one of my other ideas was to ensure that there was a suitable room booking system. So if there are social distancing measures in place, societies can kind of ensure that the societies can still meet up, but just adhering to the social distancing measures. And I think as well, it's all about kind of promoting societies again, because I think obviously this year has been so challenging and so different from the rest, that it's about, I want to kind of focus on, you know, making sure that second year students are just as engaged as first year students, and you know, focusing on kind of groups that might not necessarily have engaged in societies as much as we'd hoped, obviously just due to the pandemic. So, you know, focusing on second year students, commuter students, international students, because I think that's where, rather than just, you know, the society fair being all about first year student sign-ups, I want to really make like a to ensure that, you know, it's for everybody, and it's regardless of what year group you're in, you know, there's no better time to join a society than now.
And finally, the last thing I have to ask you is about Fabathon. And as a resident UOB grandma, I did one club night back to back, and I think I slept for the next week. So I don't even know how some people are going to be doing. I mean, how many fabs are you planning on doing?
So I was planning on doing a 7-day fab. Now this was there were yeah, there were a lot of reasons behind this. Firstly, everybody loves fab. No, fab is a great event for students, and I think after over, you know, nearly a year of no large scale events, I think it's so important that, you know, the guild puts on events for students, obviously when the government allows this. I think as well, it was in terms of employability, so many students have missed out on employment opportunities at university. I know personally, who I've had a lot of jobs at the university, and this year has been difficult because obviously there's just been so many jobs that which previously have that no longer exist. So I think this was also a great employment opportunity. So for people that want to work, there is an opportunity to earn some money. Also, I did take into consideration, you know, would there potentially be a reduced capacity? So obviously then if there's more events, 7 nights, it means that hopefully everybody who wants to go to fab will be able to at least one of the days. And then finally it was I had kind of thought, for, you know, for first year students and second year students, potentially this is their first ever night out. And so I think it's so important that the guild puts on these events which are safe and can be kind of regulated, and the correct a lot of, and, you know, we can employ security and ensure that people are able to go home safely, because I think it's so daunting, the idea of first, you know, students who've never really ever been out before to then, you know, just be thrown into the middle of Broad Street or somewhere and not really knowing what to do. So I think the fact that if the guild offers these events, it's like you can kind of try to ensure as best as possible that that students are safe, and that it is done in a kind of monitored, regulated way.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Josephine, the Dancing Queen. I hope you have watched Mamma Mia in celebration of this.
Yes.
And thank you so much for your time, and best of luck for next year.
Thank you so much. Oh, I can't wait. It's thank you to everyone as well who voted. I'm just completely overwhelmed, and just thank you to everybody. So thank you.